So I'm opening up a space channel, which is a 3D environment. And right now it's just kind of loading my assets in there. And so now it's fully loaded in here, and you see I'm in a 3D immersive environment where I can pan around and I can set objects in the space. I can link those objects, we call them glyphs, to either other spaces or links on the internet. You know, we're linking to spaces, but we're also able to, or linking to normal internet links. And then we'll also open up another space. This is a map we made of a little known festival called Lightning in a Bottle. Have you ever heard of that one?
I love Lightning in a Bottle. It changed my life. Got nice. Lightning in a Bottle stories.
Yeah, so they had a really great map. You can tell when I
can point to right where my life was changed on there.
Like, when you have a really good map maker, you know it because like things align with actual geography. And so we brought their map into this 3D space, and we're going to open up a couple little items here. So one of the items I'll open up is their recap video from last year. So in just this really short demo, we're showing the integration of 3D models, video, text, and various communication channels.
This is awesome.
That you could utilize in order to plan your environment or your space or your trip or whatever the case may be. So like here, you click on the items that are in there, and you'll get a pop-out menu depending on what you've put in there. So in this case, we've got a notes pad. So if I open up my notepad, here's my first note. Let's get organized. I can make a second note and start, putting in my my list of all the things I need to get ready for my trip that I'm going on. And then when I'm done with that, or when I'm ready to bring somebody else into the collaboration, I would just click on the channel, and then we have a link here that is easily shareable with your teammate.
So along with saying what you might need for the trip, say that was the first aid station that you just clicked on, or that was where the media crew or the sound crew is, that list could be all the sound that you need. List right there on the map. So any team member coming on the map can click on that glyph knowing it's the sound, and every list of every chord, everything, a picture of what the tip of that weird chord looks like is all listed there. Or right there you see a little fire ambulance or a little not daycare. Yeah, it's where you drop your children off. A little first aid thing, and that could have a list of procedures for anyone that's there. Oh, someone's got stung by this, someone got hurt here. What are the procedures for that? And so endless information for being able to curate, run any type of event can be loaded onto these 3D maps.
Wow, this is really cool, guys. Good work.
Thanks.
I'm thinking of what we were talking about earlier about how you could take multiple maps and put it on the same thing to reveal different things. And I'm imagining like a version of that that's for the festival goers.
Never heard of it.
But then there's also a version of that that's for like the sound guys that shows like where's all the sound gear around here, so they can flip to that tab and they can see what they need to see. Then there's one for the medical emergency people. There's one for the artists, so they know how to get around. And you could take the same map, overlay different information on it, and provide value to whoever needs to be looking at that in a specific way.
Yeah, so any of these assets that you see that are showing up in here, they're infinitely reproducible. You can open up a new space, totally empty, drop the same model, and now you have a different context that you can begin to plan in.
And along with this, like, that's amazing. That's next level for sure. But Brandon, one of the things that blew my mind when you started to really blow my mind with this is that, say like you're on the scene there and there's a fire truck, right? You can click on that fire truck, and that fire truck can take you to a whole nother 3D space. So there are 3D spaces inside of 3D spaces. So say you show up on the scene, you're seeing who all the responders are. You click on that fire truck takes you into a 3D space, which is now a firefighter training system that's been built in virtual reality where you can train. And then you say you click on an axe. That axe could lead you into a whole nother 3D space where you're now learning how to organize the tools and how to use them. It's endless. He's been able to create 3D spaces inside of 3D spaces. It doesn't have to be. You just click on a 3D thing and a 2D list of all your needs could be there. But if you need to go into that 3D space or it would be more efficient for organizing, he's actually created that, which has blown my mind.
Yeah, and the really amazing part, I think, is, the world is just starting to wake up to a lot of the spatial tools. We've had LiDARs in our phones for a couple of years now, and now we've got Vision Pro coming out from Apple. A lot of people expect that to be pretty profound experience in some ways. And I think that, the ability to take some of that information and bring it into your own environment and your own spaces, it enables a lot of really potentially cool planning capabilities. So, for example, I'm trying to get to a certain model in here. We've got this event warehouse, which was LiDAR scanned. And then, it's easy to just bring that LiDAR model into the 3D space and drop it into the environment and to begin planning with it, right? So this is the inside of a warehouse, and at the front of the warehouse, I've got a spreadsheet on the wall, and inside the spreadsheet, I've got the speakers and the presenters that are going to be presenting. And so you can just kind of see how all this information starts to stack on itself and come together in really cool and powerful ways that maybe people didn't really know was available for us.
Totally. Speaking of that, Mateo, just you kind of getting your first glimpse of this and kind of seeing some of the beginning potentials of this and some of the work that you do. If you had full access to this software and had groups to start kind of initiating stuff, how would you use these maps of either Austin or different trainings and some of the work that you do?
Yeah, so one thing that comes to mind is like a cross-pollination of communities, right? So you think of like different spaces, and there is like you could map, let's just say, all the Black Swan yoga studios out, and they could have a little event thing popping out where you can click and you can see all the events that are happening in that area. And then maybe there's like a bunch of different events by a bunch of different categories, and you can filter them. So you're like, I want to see where all the breath work is, and it just pops up on the map where all the breath works are happening that night. And then you can go and click on that exact space, and it takes you to a link to the website where you can register for it. Or maybe I want to see where the live music is. And you just click to a different tab. It shows you exactly where on the map the live music is. You can click, you can sample that artist's song, you know.
Part of the fun of that is like being in community with people that you're mapping that with, and being in collaboration and actually sharing a personal map with the people that you're building that space with. And so the places that you go often are on there, and the people that you collaborate with often are in there. And that we're not really expecting that to just automatically show up per se. Sure, you can build algorithms that do that, but thinking about the way that we get people interacting and in relationship with each other, the things that we like to focus on are those things that intend to instill collaboration.